This passion, not lust. This rush, not rush. When you mention this love between us, this trust. What the this is nuts. You see the waves slide back and you can tell what's next, rising over your head high above, but you stand still. Fast and dissolve, finishing like a wall. Great like in China, so crazy like a mind fuck. The reminding of understanding of something so deep it's blinding. Damn. All getting out to find me. Love is under no rule. Of time, his love feels sublime. Why should I make love wait when people are killed each day? Did that wait for them? I think not. So why should love stop? To wait for things to make sense, and the deaths of people need are so senseless. When honesty erases doubt, and the only fear you have is the greatness you can grasp. The fear of thinking that something is too good to be true to the point where you don't know what to do. But you grasp it tight because that feeling is so right. You look in my eyes, we both stand mesmerized, stunned. We both think you have me. Wow, this person here is really love for me.
Dry, rotten, moth-ridden, trench coats, hats, and mittens hanging in this musty closet. A crackling sound comes from a dusty radio, a song played by instruments with broken strings. Out of my emotional wilderness, I momentarily arise as I am greeted and reprised by thoughts and secrets in the flesh. Standing right before my eyes, they danced, romanced, reminding me of circumstances that resulted in premature advances, passion-filled kisses, explicit hisses to solicit dismisses, were thrown about without stature. Later found to be platonic in nature. My lips quiver as I listen to my song played by instruments with broken strings. It's hard to believe that true happiness was never conceived. Bereaved, I continue to entertain the rain, just yet when, knowing well 'twas a portion of what I needed was being received. Now I wish I could press onward past these dry, rotten, moth-ridden trench coats, hats, and mittens that hang close in this musty closet into that snowy side on the other place. Maybe then I won't have to think about the things I've done. Maybe then I won't have to think about the things I've said. Maybe then people won't play pretend. Maybe then that crackling sound that comes from this dusty radio, a song played by instruments with broken strings, may be written into a melodious symphony to set my mind free. But alas, my skin falls loosely from pounds of melting flesh. I may seem content in my bones as empty eyes peer forward, my heart hardened by life and love's calcium deposits. I am the skeleton in my own closet, sitting amongst my dry, rotten, moth-ridden trench coats, hats, and mittens that hang loosely in this musty closet of mine as I listen to that crackling sound that comes from a dusty radio. A song played by instruments with broken strings. Maybe one day it will be a melodious symphony.
I cry no more, no more pain for me. I hurt myself, just gotta get up and do something for me. You keep coming to me, throw your pain on me. It's quite obvious to me that you don't care about me. So just keep on calling out, keep trying to use me. But you see, I see you're trying to keep abusing me, but now I see you'll never be better to me. But you see, I see you're trying to keep abusing me, but now I see you'll never be better to me. Don't you worry about me, I'll be fine, you'll see. Stop pretending you care. I'm off to handle my own affairs. Get away from my door. You said you didn't need me. Right now I'm living my life. I ain't open your wife. So just keep on calling now. Keep trying to use me. But you see, I see you're trying to keep abusing me. But now I see you'll never be better to me. But you see, I see you're trying to keep abusing me. But now I see you'll never be better to me. I deserve so much more than you're giving to me. Wasted time strong on your line, but now I'm free. Oh, I deserve so much more than you're giving to me. So keep on calling out, keep on trying to use me. But right now I'm living heavenly. Without you paints a memory. I guess you finally see clearly that this answer you should have been better to me.
Pollute not your mind. Cast your pearls not among the swine. You see, just the other day I sat and watched the news and I saw another youth fall upon the same shoes. Another youth gone, another youth dead. If you can't hear, you feel, is what mommy always said. I seen so much talent going buried in the grave that all the rude boys they locked up because they never won't behave. So pollute not your mind. Cast your pearls not among the swine. Another God gets caught, another gun gets bust. People die for paper what says in God we trust. I'm so tired to see the youth them lying in the streets like a true death story playing on repeat. So, root not your mind, but I just say, can't say a not among us, right? But just the way me I said to myself, and the same youth to fall upon the same shoes, say, another youth gone, another youth dead, you can't hear your feelings, but mommy always said.
What is karma? The idea that what goes around comes around. They say you always strike, but where are you right now? The love of my life cheated on me and left me for another man. So I would love to see how this is part of some other plan. And what did I do to deserve this depression that's sore and vile? It's weight building down to the point where I can't even force a smile. I feel so worthless around you that I wish I could just turn translucent. And seeing you two makes my blood boil and evaporates to the point that I need a transfusion. And you'll love this. The guy was a close friend, a man I idolized, who'd die inside if he saw the pain that he caused inside my eyes. I'm not the type of guy that drama calls, because I thought karma calls the shots. So I'd scoop up my 72 karma virgins while they all perish in a karma holocaust. So I'm waiting, but nothing's happened yet. So either karma doesn't exist, or the karma fairy needs her glasses checked. And they say misery loves company, so why don't you two come on a date with me and explain to me how you can do that and feel such complacency? How can you have a clean conscience after treating me like a piece of shit? In karma is a bitch, but only to those who are stupid enough to believe in it. And the world would laugh at me if only they could hear how much of a pussy I am to my friends and my excuses to stay so near. And when you two break up, I'll be waiting here to celebrate with fireworks and a case of beer. And what a long year it's been. No one should be that depressed at 17. Because now a friend in need is a friend and dead to me.
December 31st, 2011. Murder rates reach a record high in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Youths have become revolving chambers and empty bullet shells, trading gunpowder for a BlackBerry phone and 13 bucks. Taking a life has become a weekend pastime. It is easier than taking a breath of fresh air. Fresh air is rare these days. The wind smells of metal and iron rising from pools of dry blood, surrounding roadkill at every corner, and dead bodies of boys left like roadkill at every corner. There is genocide in front of our eyes, and we have not seen it yet. 1890, gunshots broke the silence of the morning. Lakota Sioux became victims of the Wounded Knee Massacre. Mass graves were built for ghost dancers. 1937, Rafael Trujillo introduced El Corte, the cutting of Haitian slaves away from La República Dominicana, cutting away 1/4 of his own heritage. 1940s, over 6 million men, women, and children with facial characteristics too different to be accepted were slaughtered in the Jewish Holocaust. 1947, Muslims, Hindus, Sikhs found themselves on the wrong side of the border. 1994, Rwanda. Tutsis were killed by the Hutu hands of their next door neighbors. And the churches they prayed in became their burial grounds. 100 days, 800,000 deaths later, it is now 2012. Bahamians point guns at each other. Little boys learn to hold 9mm like surrogate fathers in their hands, on their arms, by their sides, carrying genocide with the flex of their index fingers. Men are stabbed, women are cut in half. Death tolls and voting polls are rising at the same time like the stench of innocent children, raped and murdered and left on the side of garbage bins. We have found ourselves on the wrong side of the border too many times in our own home. We must break these borders before Bahamian becomes another word for endangered species. Break like the silence of the morning with our tongues. They can try to cut our tongues El Corte, but they can never take away our voices. There's resurrection dancing in our throats like ghosts breaking this morning of our sons, of our daughters. We must let children learn to be children, and men and women must not be children. We must break this genocide and remember that we are more than revolving chambers and empty bullet shells. We are chambers that carry the undefeated spirits of Holocaust and genocide victims. Jews have died in us. Native Americans, Rwandans, Haitians, Tutsis, Muslims, Hindus, Sikhs, Bahamians. We must break this genocide so that we can find a better way to breathe.
I remember the first time we met. It was a cold winter morning. Are you trying to tell me that you don't remember the first time we met? I bet if I was wearing swim trunks with abs as tight as leggings on the legs of an elephant, you would have remembered me. How could you have forgotten?
You remember to forget our anniversary, didn't you? Exactly 3 years after you made my eyes dance to your flirtatious ballets like pliés to the beats of my heart.
Please, please. I remember us waking up to rake the last of autumn's leaves. With 4 arms through 2 sleeves of a winter jacket, we became one. Don't you remember? It was the first time we said, I love you.
But you caused these 4 arms teardrops to fall on them too many times to count exactly 1 year ago in summer. So I could care less about the leaves because you left before we could say I do.
But I do remember the first time we met. How could I forget the moment your smile said hello to my eyes without words?
Body language. Or the way you enhanced my vocabulary by saying hi.
How are you? In Spanish. Because no matter how our backgrounds clash
at the forefront, our souls set a stage for a performance of a lifetime. So how could I forget the first time we met?
I couldn't even if I wanted to. Because when I deposited you to the banks of my memory, I told my synapses to fire the tellers who were only jealous of your worth. Because you are worth more to me than a memory. You are the showers of my blessings in physical form. Like prosthetics to amputees, you gave me a leg to stand on. So I will stand on it for you.
I have stood by you, knowing that the first time we met was the last time I'd ever need to meet another. Was the first time I realized that something could last. Alpha, Omega, do you realize who made us? You are materialized grace, dissolved resentment, and I have deposited you into riverbanks that flow directly to God, just so he could be submerged in the very presence of what he ordained.
So maybe this shouldn't be about the first time we met. Maybe this should be about the things in between that kept us together. Like mornings after the moon.
You are my one constant amidst chaos. I said, eres mi constante en el medio de caos. And I refuse to let the memory of what we forgot be the last memory that we ever have. But I do remember the first time we met, though.
It was a cold
Warm
winter
summer
morning.
evening.
To be young, gifted and black, you know they don't like that, but still you gotta plod on, still you gotta trod on. Black brother, don't be another statistic on the ballistics record. Drugs and money, they make at you honeys, drugs and money, they make at you hoes. But as everyone knows, honeys and only grow warts and snort coke. But see, brother, you are young, gifted and black, and you know they don't like that, so don't take debate. I know you can relate to what I'm spitting, and I know you won't debate what I'm saying in my rhymes, because we all have seen the many times that our brothers have been shot dead, straight to the head or to the back. But you don't have to go like that. Drive-bys every day, killing niggas every day, making figures every way. And all you gotta pay is the whole of your dignity and all your respect, and then you repress all your fears and emotions, because if you cry, your tears will create deep oceans, heartless being, crack-filled shell, mindless wanderer, living in hell. But see, brother, you are young, gifted and black, and they will never like that.
You loving me with my mood swings. You must be patient, you must be wise. You loving me with my silly moments. You must be silly too at times. You loving me, looking at me and seeing someone you could be with. Me loving you is a dream come true, but you loving me is strange and inspires me to change, but not too much change, cause strange as it seems, must be something in me that beams out to you and draws you to me, loving me, as you see me, as I be me. Trusting me only as far as you can throw me, but because you know me, you forgive me and redeem me each time I fall away, because you loving me. Hard to believe, hard to conceive, but you loving me. And something is wrong in the end there, but y'all don't know, so.
Growing up, I was a rebel. Now I'm in love with the bass and treble, the emotion of music, and my verbal delivery on an instrumental. Pour my heart in this. Haters say what a waste. I got unlimited bars, so have a taste. I be eating these beats, no dinner plate, and I got a industry, no dinner date. It's my goal, so sit down and wait. It's your turn to learn, my turn to burn. It's my turn, my time, you're up. You off can ask, well I got luck. I'm in it just cause you in it for the bucks. I push for those scared to compose on mics in front of those who've broken souls. Empty shells the mainstream control. So with each breath I take, each link I break on the remains of the chains left there by Lil Wayne and other trash artists. Every day there's more garbage. I live off of good music, but I'm starving. So now I'm forced to evolve and take over. Because left in the hands of such people can spoil your mind and corrupt your cerebral, turn the feeble and influential. But I see those beautiful minds like rose petals with untapped potential. So being amongst the masses, I see clear, no need for glasses. It's obvious greatness is what you expect, so I'm here to tell you mainstream hasn't seen it yet. Bring back real rhymes like Tupac in his prime. It's up to us to control what shines, radio time. Why? They got YouTube and Facebook. I spit that lyrical imagery, make you feel it physically, that might leave your face shut. So before you allow the destruction of the young, be careful what you allow to touch airs from their tongue.
He has an erection infection due to the unprotected injection into what is known as the frontal lower midsection of a female. Now I make no correction because there was an inspection, but that was in a time way before you knew he was a candidate in her election. Now elections come and gone and a condom never won, and all because he thought that he was safe. Now, what he never knew was that there were quite a few who, months before, were standing in his place. He told a long, long line like it was government payday time, all so that he could get a slice. Thinking that if I get well, all her friends she's gonna tell it. And maybe I could get to hit that twice. Planning his big day when he would finally get to play with the one that he had been after for so long. He started going to the gym so that he could be toned and cut and trimmed, and so that when he sexed her, he would be able to perform. Weeks after bodybuilding and comments from some little children who told him that Weeks after bodybuilding and comments from some little children who told him that his arms were looking buff. He went to buy protection, and when making his selection, he told the cashier, "Give me a pack of Riders Rough." Now, what he had planned was to be a gentleman, but this lady, gentle she was not. If you don't know the story, just sit back and don't you worry, for I'm about to thicken up the plot. They met up after dark, a few blocks from Pinewood Park, where she made it very clear she needed money. And he then began to wonder. His mind then led him to ponder until she exposed her tattooed Playboy bunny. Close to her vagina, it was such a strong reminder of all his exercising in the gym. So he peeled off 2 Blue Marlins, and she said, "Why, thank you, darling. You're a baller. You display a bop to him." Now let's get down to business, because you know you want to hit this. And for 200, I cannot make you wait. So when I drop this panty, boy, you better come and round me. And when I say slam, you better not hesitate. Like a bicycle kickstand, he leaned his in his left hand, and with his teeth, he used the right to tear the wrapper. When she saw what he had done, she said, I'm sorry, honey, but condoms, I allergic to them, Papa. She pulled panties to her waist, and his smile turned over on his face. And as she said, condoms, haters break me out. He whispered, what about oral? She said, me? I's a gal with morals. I don't put them things inside my mouth. Thinking about it hard and long, he concluded there was nothing wrong. And that she was too good looking to be sick. So out from beneath the zipper, Wild Wild West could not draw quicker. Their guns as he pulled out his neglecting to use the latex where she often uses playtex, caused him pain. Neglecting to use his latex where she often uses playtex caused him pain and a fiery sensation. You never heard a man scream so much, his own genitals he's afraid to touch, especially when it's time for urination. He has an erection infection due to the unprotected injection into what is known as the lower frontal midsection of a female.
This day has 2 years of silence and it's making me deaf. Gigantic screams of an ultrasound wave resonating in my being, sending telepathic organisms into my voice's physical thoughts, and I see green forests of blood attacking the atmosphere, fighting for personal space as I gallop on the back of a stallion. And the wind, yes, the wind, she plays with my dreadless hair, she caresses my aching dome, and I give thanks for the long-awaited touch of the wild, fresh air, and I am galloping, racing against myself, asking for nothing more than the deafening silence that blinds me out of this world. And I am galloping, riding up and down the undulations of the land, riding good, riding carefree, riding oh so cool, and all too soon, my joy, it escapes me. A plantation, and I started running. Yes, brothers, I tell you, I was running away from them man, running away from them houses, running away from them fields, and I started running. I mean, running from those dogs that watched me, running away from them rips that opened my skin raw to the world, and I started running. Dusty bare feet on solid ground, running till my feet were beneath me, but they were light and tight in air, and my arms were wings, and now they were flapping. What? Now I'm flapping my wings, now I'm going over the ocean, and I'm going up and up and up and up and up into the air, flying. Oh yeah, baby, happy to the day when I can see my people again, when I ain't gotta run no more. Right now, little brothers, I'm asking you to keep on running, and sisters, y'all keep on running, running so that I can catch those who are ahead of us in need of guidance, us in need of love of our ancestors. So brothers, again, y'all keep on running, and sisters, y'all keep on running. As for me, I'm gonna keep on running back to those spirits of the dead, and I'm asking to rise up. Lingering spirits of the dead, rise up and possess your vessel. Those African, shackled in lead irons and enslaved, step out of the wombs of the slave ships at the bottom of the oceans and tell your tale. Spirits of the dead, rise up. Lingering spirits of the dead, rise up and possess your bird of passage. Those swinging from the limbs of the weeping willows, step down and tell your tale. Spirits of the dead, rise up. Lingering spirits of the dead, rise up and possess your vessel. Those in Jamaica, in Cuba, in the swamps of South Carolina, in the fields of rice. Come out and tell your tale. Step down and tell your story. Spirits of the dead, rise up. Lingering spirits of the dead, rise up and possess your vessel. You roasted, chopped, lobotomized, bound and gagged, tarred and feathered, waiting African spirits. Spirits of the dead, rise up. Lingering spirits of the dead, rise up and possess your bird of passage.
Ashe.
Skip?
They say idle hands are the devil's workshop, right? Well, why do these idle hands draw hearts within margins of lined paper? You know what? Why do dirty words stem from a hidden lust for purity? See, these thoughts in my head would come out to sound a little like alcohol-stained gibberish if I allowed them to take passage past optic nerves, through brainwaves, slush between amylase and vodka onto heavy tongue. Just to say to your listening ears why idle hands draw hearts. Just to say that it is a causa de hecho que el amor es una cosa peligrosa, that love is a dangerous thing. Because love can suppress the joy of men's needy souls. Yes, love is a dangerous thing. Those words, if I allowed them, would try to expose me for everything I am and would come at great price. But my currency is speech. You told me to speak, and I'm proud, parler Creole. Red wine and black hearts don't mix well. Lest that heart is served on the rocks. A cold, lifeless thing solidified by frozen, easy to break promises. Don't confuse my motive with your own though. I dare not drink to appease hardened heart or softened memory. I am simply thirsty, longing, parched. You told me to speak in hablo español, and I hate the poems that makes all poets sound like emotional whips, so I wish it that your mind would regurgitate that which I have just paid to you using unofficial currency. Me dijo hablar. You told me to speak, so I may as well inform you of how a Microsoft Word right-click over the word woman would produce as synonym creature. Some creatures must have forgotten that though. They walk around with noses pointed towards skyscrapers, heels higher than Erykah Badu, trying to bring poets down below ground levels where they keep their silent screams and unlived dreams. Well, understand this creature. My milkshake bringeth all the young lads to the forefront of my thoughts, and damn them to the correctness it perceives thine own, and puta high heels break ankles and damaged spines. And someone should have told you in whatever language you speak that keeping your noses that high only allows the people you bring low to see your boogers and untweezed hairs. You told me to speak as je parle français, and I told you that these words would try to expose me for everything I am. Kiss me on tear-drenched cheek before handing me over to your arresting ears for just 30 pieces of my currency, that is speech. Judas. Idle hands, they say, are the devil's workshop. But so are the hands of the idols that he'd prefer we idolize in idolatry of an unpromising thing. And yes, hearts drawn within margins of lined paper are products of idle hands. But so are these words, which now penetrate your ears like the small penises they are, unwilling in every way to give you the satisfaction you crave. You told me to speak. On parle parler, je parlerai, voy a hablar, I will speak.
I'm tone deaf in my left ear from years of your incessant screaming. Just dreaming of the day you would be old enough to speak to me coherently. And when that day finally came, all I could dream about was the day you would learn to shut the hell up. It brings me to tears when I think about the times we had and how proud I was to be called your dad. I remember how much you liked that blue mountain bike I bought you that Christmas in '09. But unfortunately, crime was on the rise and the owner came and took what was his prized possession that we had borrowed but never gave back. And I thought I had always taught you to give back to others. Though you had no brothers, your mother and I felt as though we were doing an okay job. You never robbed, cheated, or cussed. You were the best thing that could have ever happened to us. If only you had happened to us. See, I was only 17 and she was just supposed to scream in pleasure on the leather seats in the back of my ride. But pride denied me the common sense to use protection, so there was no semen collection, just semen injection of you into her, and then things became complicated. She called me one day to say that she had not seen her period for a period of time now, and maybe it was time for us to take a test. Now I must confess that this revelation was not a welcomed one. And though our time together had been fun, I was not the only one that she had been with. Fear gripped me as thoughts of a hard life ahead filled my head. I wasn't a breadwinner. I was just a beginner in this game. In fact, that was the first time I ever had a naked woman on her back. But I guess my lack of experience excuse was of little use to me now as I heard a shout from the loose screaming that the test turned blue. What was I to do at 17? I was unemployed and wasn't about to let my life get destroyed, so I did what everybody else did. I got rid of it. I got rid of you. Now I'm 25, wishing you were alive. And I regret not being tone deaf in my left ear from years of your incessant screaming. Just dreaming of the day you would be old enough to speak to me coherently. I regret not having you here with me. And I'm sorry to my unborn child.